Hey, what is up everyone? Pastor Jams here back with another video, and we're continuing our first annual award ceremony, recognition if you will, of the Jammies. A little segment on this channel that I started this year that I plan to do for the forthcoming years, where we analyze, where I compile together lists of the best projects and music that came out for that year. Since it's the first annual year, of course, it's 2021. And the last video, I did the top 25 singles of 2021. Today, we're doing the top 20 albums of 2021. Yes, I've been doing this for quite a while. Yes, I mean, it's my first year on YouTube doing this, but I've been doing these lists, end of the year things for quite a while now, since 2015. Some of you all may have remembered them or caught up with them in more of the later years or whatever. But in terms of 2021, I think that music wise, it was really interesting and certainly up there in terms of these years that I've been doing these lists. And yeah, let's jump right in. At number 20, we have En Medio del Jardín by Drims. Drims is a indie pop band from Mexico, and I really think they set themselves apart from other artists in terms of the indie pop genre, given that they're also unique, that they implement and utilize their culture and implement Latin sound into the indie pop genre, utilizing instruments like the synthesizer and electric guitar. Lead vocalist, really soothing, calm voice. The whole album essentially revolves around catchy pop tunes that were, relationships and love and stuff like that. However, I do think it's a pretty fun album, and definitely worth a listen if you're a fan of indie pop and want to venture forth into a Latin style twist. And 8. And number 19, we have Planet Her by Doja Cat. Yes, this comes as a surprise to me, and a surprise to some of you all, I'm sure. I think that she establishes herself as an artist finally, and finds her true setting in the music industry. I think that she ventures and explores her versatility more, exploring more sounds that I think that she could have done more in her starting career. Although she does do rapping in most of these tracks, it doesn't come off as it doesn't come off as careless anymore. It's more witty, it's strong-willed, and stuff like that, things of that nature, and kind of comes off as a more structured album, so to speak. Also coming out with one of the best pop singles to this that came out this year with SZA, and other amazing features such as JID and The Weeknd on this album. She also, in production wise, keeping it R&B style, also with hints of little modern rap production and more spacious sounds that I think that she can utilize more in her future career coming forth. And yeah, I'm giving Planet Her by Doja Cat an 8. And number 18, we have 30 by Adele. I mean, this was a given. It was going to appear somewhere on this list. And I think that the more that I listen to the album, it's mind blowing. The messaging that and themes that she explores in this messy album. And the reason I say messy album is because I feel like she wanted it to come out messy, unfinished, unstructured, very unorganized in a way, because that's how her life has been coming to this point now, especially between her last her last album and this one. I think she's hit bumps in the road that she continues to explore and find herself as a person, as a mother, as a wife. Now she's going through a divorce and uh, trying to raise her son, and it's hard, and with alcohol and things of other outside forces and internal forces. Really dark, kind of a, I wouldn't say a dark album, but explores dark themes that are really sensitive and blew me away. Production wise, explores more of like this modern R&B style, not really things that she would explore in her other work. Really interesting to the fans, and just wow, just an amazing album. I think it's definitely worth a listen. An 8. At number 17, we have Planetary Destruction by Dr. Destruction. I mean, this is just Logic pretending to be Dr. Destruction. I know that he said he was going to retire, but money talks. I mean, maybe he made this for fun, and it wasn't an official release. It came out on YouTube. But still, nonetheless, it's a pretty solid album, not gonna lie. I mean, if it's Logic, then it's Logic. If it's not, then it's not. Whoever this is, it has to do with him because he signed Dr. Destruction to his label. Regardless of who this is, I mean, they're keeping a hidden, mysterious identity. And, I mean, the bars, they're pretty quirky and witty. I mean, it's a pretty funny album altogether. Everything flows smoothly for the most part. Production wise, you have more of an abstract type beats for all of the tracks. Old samples, new samples, just really solid, funny album that's fun from start to finish. And 8. At number 16, we have Angelic Hood Rat Supercut by Kenny Mason. Found this guy completely by surprise on accident. But I did see that he had some interesting features, and I didn't know who he was. On the come up in the music industry, he has features such as Denzel Curry, Freddie Gibbs, and Ambar Lucid. I really wanted to hear what this was about. So essentially, the whole album is dark rap mixed with rock instrumentation and rock influence. I think that's a really underrated genre, and I think it should be explored more by artists. He doesn't come out essentially with the more fire of flows. I'm just saying that he does incorporate rock into dark rap really well, and think that he's has a really solid start in his career, and I'm really excited to hear what he has next. If you're looking for something more gritty and just grimy in a sense of the rap game, give this a listen. And 8 as well. At number 15, we have Vince Staples by Vince Staples, self-titled album, and I think that's really interesting that he self-titles this album because I think Vince takes a step back and analyzes his career and wants to see what he's going to do next. Kind of telling the fans maybe he's going to take some time off, analyze what he has accomplished to his career. And I think it's really important that artists at some point in their career do this. They analyze what they want to do next, take some time off, just chill, relax. For the most part, the album is to the point and short. Really solid production. I even like Lil Fade and which is the two tracks that are looked down upon in this album. But I think they're really solid all around. Vince Staples coming out with this more of an abstract type album. And I think it's amazing and fits him well. I wish him the best, and hopefully he'll continue to make music. I'm not saying he's going to stop or gives intentions of stopping. I just feel like he is taking time to just analyze and identify himself. And 8. At number 14, we have The Off Season by J. Cole, another artist who takes a good look at his career and his past life, what he has accomplished up to this date, and reassuring the fans that he is going to continue working and doing what he does and providing great music to the industry. Awesome features as well, such as Lil Baby, Moray coming through with the awesome and amazing vocalizations. 21 Savage, another banger. I mean, that duo needs to come out with a collab album. I'm just saying. But altogether, I think Hunger on Hillside, probably my favorite track on there, ends on a good note. I mean, the production is just amazing with those violins. I know it's the track that's more looked down upon, but I think it's just amazing. Like, he's not going to stop, and he doesn't have any intentions of stopping. The whole album, really awesome stuff, production-wise, by J. Cole and other producers. I mean, what more could you want? And also, it received an 8. At number 13, we have Looking Back by Los Retros, artist who is from Los Angeles, California. I think that he really comes... Oh, and also the shortest album on this list. I mean, he really comes through with the dream pop style. Like, if I couldn't think of a better dream pop artist than this guy. I mean, coming through with an album this year. The whole thing, pretty straightforward. Kind of kind of tries to expand more on not just the relationship type thing, but kind of missing the other person, looking back on like other concepts that I think should be more utilized in dream pop, not just more of the lovey-dovey type stuff. Like kind of implementing other sounds as well. And I look forward to what he has to do next. If you like dream pop or looking for more of a synthetic space type sound, give this a listen. And 8. And number 12, we have Sol by Teo. Teo is a Latin artist, and finally he comes out with another album. I've been anticipating this for a while, and incorporates, of course, his Latin style sound, and raps throughout some of the tracks. More of like also keeps it like a kind of reggaeton type sound, but also has an amazing song with Willow that made my 25 singles list. The Altogether, I think everything just runs so smooth, so groovy and passionate. I mean, his vocalization's really soft and comes through with some really catchy bangers on here. And 8, give that a listen. At number 11, we have The Nearer the Fountain, More Pure the Stream Flows by Damon Albarn. If you don't know who Damon Albarn is, he is the lead singer and co-creator of The Gorillaz, the virtual band, and now he released a solo project with just him. However, I do think that it still incorporates sounds and instrumentations from Gorillaz, although I see why he would want to separate himself from the band and release a solo project. But it's still amazing. I mean, I think it was based off a poem. I mean, the poetry that he does throughout these tracks is amazing and just really somber, melancholy type. You have like this neo this neo jazz type production, more of like a jazz sense in some tracks, and then you have more of like a neo synthetic type sound in other tracks. But when they're mixed together, it's just so amazing. And his poetry, off the charts. If you're a fan of Gorillaz and looking for something more mellow, I'm not really mellow, but more of a artsy style, then give this a listen. And 8 as well. And we're coming down to the final 10 albums of 2021. Let's see what they are. And then number 10, we have The House is Burning by Isaiah Rashad. I mean, TDE had to release something from a major artist this year, and it couldn't have been a better artist than Isaiah Rashad releasing his project this year. I was so excited, so hyped up. Lay With Ya featuring Duke Deuce took the number 1 spot for top 25 singles of 2021. I mean, altogether, it's a really well-produced project, usually associating his usual stuff that he's worked with before. He explores more of a style of messaging and sound that is kind of venturing in a different path, but I don't think it's so much of a bad thing. He kind of explores more of like his own mentality type thing, and I think that's really great, especially artists who deal with certain things. I mean, altogether, it's a well put track. I mean, a well put album, especially from Isaiah Rashad. I wish him the best, and I think he also has amazing features on here that he works well with him. And maybe there was one track on here that wasn't really fitting, but I mean, nobody's perfect. And 8. At number 9, we have Harmony House by Dayglow, an indie artist that is on the rise and continues to be on the rise. Some of the most jumpy and quirky production I've heard all year. I mean, there's not a single track on here that's boring or keeps you at a low level. Everything's just going up and up and up and up. It's like really, like just it's like a playhouse of an album, if you will, given that I think it's funny since it's called Harmony House. His vocalizations really sharp and to the point. I think he also comes out with amazing choruses that are catchy and will keep you moving. And 8. At number 7, I'm sorry. At number 8, we have Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator. I mean, the guy just... to sum it up, the whole album revolves around him loving himself, who he is as a person, and his career. I mean, what better how better can you get from that? Coming off of Igor, I mean, this whole album is just really fun and positive. The guy is just living his life, and it's just there's no hard messaging or some themes that he has to explore or explore that he's going through something or anything like that. Nope. The guy's just keeping the bars coming with his amazing features and some pals that he brings onto the project. Amazing production and just all around positive. I mean, how better can you get from that? 8.5. At number 7, we have "Happier Than Ever" by Billie Eilish. I do prefer this over her. When we all fall asleep, where do we go? I prefer this over her freshman album. I just think that she establishes herself more on a solid ground and explores various sounds and messaging apart from the strict linear thing that she was doing in her freshman album. I think that she's also, growing up and exploring, going through different things and exploring various concepts in her music. Of course, her brother Phineas also coming through with the amazing production. Just all around solid album with a few surprises in it that just keeps it really memorable. And 8.5. At number 6, we have "Carnage" by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. A really interesting album. If you're into dark poetry and just haunting production, give this a listen. Nick Cave from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and Warren Ellis, which is a producer, just really solid stuff here that they do on this collab project. I know I didn't review it, but after listening to it over and over again, I just think it finally deserves a spot somewhere, and it lands on the number 6 spot. It's 8 tracks, but 48 minutes, I believe. Just all around, it's just if you're looking for something more outside of the box, dark poetry, haunting and amazing production of like symphony type sorts, give this a listen. And 8.5. And we're coming down to the final 5. At number 5, we have "Phases" by Twin Seas. Probably the one of the most interesting bands that needs to come up from East Los Angeles, California. The whole thing from start to finish is just amazing. Just synthetic sounds that are used off the wacko that just keeps the whole album grooving and moving. There's 2 singers, the bassist and the lead singer, who their voices are so amazing. They go well together and fit the production of the tracks. Altogether, everything's just snazzy and quirky. It's just amazing. Go give it a listen. If you're looking for something more of a indie pop sound and just something fresh and exciting. 8.5. At number 4, we have "Big Mess" by Danny Elfman. Yes, some of you all were expecting this to be on here, and it's in the top 5. Danny Elfman, of course, legendary film composer, working with films such as the Sam Raimi Spider-Man series, and Tim Burton, really implements that style of sound into his music, and it's amazing. Dark, haunting, just shredding of this post-punk style album. I think it's really interesting how he separates this ginormous album into 3 different spectacles, just to say the least. His own internal issues that he sees with society, and issues he sees with other people in his life, such as his wife and his daughter. Really haunting, and it's not for everyone, but he really does come through with like these really wild and crazy style tracks that will just have you like, whoa, what's going on here? And I think his production as well, implementing sounds like from Tim Burton films and stuff like that. I mean, the guy's a legendary film composer. I think he does know. I think he would know what he's doing on a production sense, and that received a 9. And we're coming down to the final 3. At the number 3 spot, we have "Donda" by Kanye West. Probably the most anticipated album from me this year. Really long. I think it's like an hour, 27 minutes, 27 tracks long with part 2s and just a whole bunch of stuff. A lot to digest. I think that Kanye really comes through and gives a lot to the fans. Anything that you want from Kanye, you will find from him. Whether you like old Kanye, where you like a certain style of Kanye, if you like rap Kanye, you want to hear him more of a Christian type stance, if you want to hear him explore more life issues, if you just want to get to the nitty gritty and like the hard rap verses, Playboy Cardi, one of the most influential and memorable features on here. Not even to mention Kid Cudi and Jay-Z on here, just so Lil Baby, The Weeknd, just so many features on here. I wish I could name them all that are just amazing and work well together, and new features that work well together with him. That the chemistry's just there and everything just comes together in an amazing, big, giant album. A 9. And number 2, we have An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic. The duo, Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. Didn't expect that at all. Thought it was going to be a more of a decent to mediocre album, but I'm eating my own words. It came to the number 2 spot. There's no shame in that. I mean, the whole album is just funkadelic and groovy. The production is off the charts. Some of the best I've heard all year. The two have amazing chemistry with each other. I didn't expect that at all. And like I said, just the whole thing kind of flows itself, and at some points it's really funny and enjoyable. Like, it's just really strange how amazing music can be. Give this a listen if you haven't. I would be surprised if some of you all haven't heard this yet. But if you're looking for something groovy, funky, and just a good time, good vibes, give this a listen. A 9. And at number 1, the album of the year that is going to take the crown is Jubilee by Japanese Breakfast. I cannot get enough of this album. Every time I hear it, it just something new comes up when I listen to it. It also received a 9, but it was a no-brainer for me when I was comparing this to the other 3 9s on this list. Like I said, Michelle, aka Japanese Breakfast, she comes through with the like, aside from her past projects, this project she just exceeds and goes above and beyond the indie pop and rock genre. I mean, like, it's one of my favorite genres, and it just felt so fresh and amazing listening to this project. And like, production wise, she also implements other instrumentation, kind of more of like a 80s, or sometimes she'll do more of a dream sound, spacious sound, and also implements even a saxophone in one of these tracks. Also, these triumphant trumpets in some of these tracks, get like electric guitar solos, and even some of the best bass guitar production I've ever heard on any project. On top of that, her beautiful natural vocals that are just so amazing, and just brings, look, defines harmony basically. She can also be kind of dark in a sense, which also plays into the messaging of the album. Each track very powerful, coming through with the message, with her relationship, and with her husband. I'm assuming her husband, but relationships in general, like the way that she feels. Sometimes she feels vulnerable. Sometimes she even has like dark thoughts herself, and just reflecting herself as a human. The whole album to me is expressing the great things about being human and the fear of being human, the emotions that constantly go through her, that she wants to just be loved, but she also feels afraid. She feels afraid in herself because of the dark things that she thinks. It's just wild. It's a wild album. If you have not heard this, if you want to hear something that is just conceptually amazing, give this a listen. It is album of the year. And that is it. Jubilee has taken the crown for 2021 album of the year. And thank you all so much for watching. This has been an amazing 2021. I hope we can all have an amazing 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. And that is the end of the Jammies. Please like and share with a friend. Peace and stay safe.